So that is becoming the most common misconception for me lately is Melanie. So I'm like, no, it's Melissa. But I've always been called Mel by everyone that knows me. So I am the owner and creator of Melnaturel. It's a natural skincare company here in Eau Claire. And I started in January, and I'll kind of, since this is my second time presenting, but I see a lot of new faces, I'll kind of start from the beginning. So in high school, I dealt with a lot of acne and was on just about any product you could possibly think of. I dealt with a lot of anxiety and depression towards that, and it was frustrating as a high school student. And my mom was pretty adamant about getting me in the doctor anytime I could to do whatever, and so I was on just about everything, and nothing seemed to work for me at all. When I was 21, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that's when we realized that my acne was much different than anyone else that I was going to school with, that it was hormonal based, and I was going to have this issue for a long time and indefinitely. And so it was helpful to understand that and to know where it was stemming from, and so I started doing my own research and figuring out, like, how is my body different? What do I need to do differently? Because everything I was trying, from zit zappers to muds to scrubs to anything you could possibly think of, wasn't working for me. Pills, creams, everything. And so I started to formulate some of my own stuff that was natural based on just research for myself. And it started working well. I also, prior to this, fixing something else, which was another issue with my polycystic ovarian syndrome, you can have hair loss, or you can have excess hair. Well, I ended up like having hair loss with eyelashes and thinning and things like that. And so I created my own eyelash growth serum. And so, like, women like their eyelashes long and lush and beautiful. And so I've tried just about every eyelash product I could find too. And it wasn't working for me. They would turn my eyelids colors, like dark colors, so then it looked like I got punched in the face. I'm like, okay, this isn't working. So obviously I'm still different. So let's find something else. So I started to do research again, and I've always been a DIY personality, like figure it out on my own. I like to make my own stuff. I like to refurbish furniture. I like to sew things. I mean, I just am kind of like a nut about creating things and doing it myself and figuring it out however I can and not asking for help if I don't have to. And so it was just sort of a fun experiment for me. And so probably 3 years ago now, I bought just some tubes and some stuff and just concocting my own recipes for eyelash growth serum, and it was working. And last December, I was at a happy hour with my sister and one of my really good friends, and they were like, Mel, what are you using on your eyelashes? You know, and I was like, oh, I'm making my own stuff. They're like, of course you are, of course, like knowing how I'm like a DIY person. And like, can you make me some? We should all get together and like make some together. And I'm like, well, it really doesn't take that long. Like, we'd get together and, you know, be drinking and socializing. This would take only a few minutes. I'll just make you some. So I'm three-way texting my sister and my friend, and I'm telling you this because this is kind of how the idea transpired, and it was like just blown up from there. So it's one of those moments that you remember, and you're like, why am I remembering this so vividly in such detail? So it was a weeknight. I came home from work. You know, I've got a full-time job here, and I was sitting on the couch watching Wheel of Fortune, and I've got a cardboard box on my coffee table and my dog and my, you know, warm clothes because it's December, and I'm sitting here texting him, and I'm making him up. I'm like, okay, I'm all done. And they're like, hold on, can you make another one? Because I want to give one to my sister-in-law for her stocking stuffer. And I'm like, okay, well, now if it's going elsewhere, the marketing gal in me cannot just give an unlabeled bottle. Like, okay. So I'm like, well, I have time. Let's just make a label. So I called it Melnaturel, and I sent a picture to them, and I was like, here you go, what do you think? And my sister, all sassy, replies back, you forgot the M, idiot. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh, she's like, why don't you call it Melnaturel, your name? I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that. So I did that. So then I had some extra bottles left over. So I decided, well, they want these, and maybe some other women want these. I don't know, I'm just gonna try. So, being born and raised here in Eau Claire, I feel like I have a lot of connections, and I'm a marketing person, so I'm social, I know a lot of people. So I posted on my Facebook wall, or on my own profile, just saying, hey, anybody looking to grow their lashes, da da da, put a little marketing copy, added a picture, one post I had sold 165 bottles and I had 8 available. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And my boyfriend's like, I told you, like, I knew this was gonna happen. Like, why, you know, he knew. I was like kind of naive, but really liked the challenge. So I ended up having a lot of meet and greets in parking lots. So I had to organize my time. So I ended up having Saturday morning pickups between 11 and 11:30 at the Woodman's parking lot in the gas station section. So I felt like a drug dealer, but it was awesome. So I had people like driving up and they're like, hi, are you Mel? And I'm like, yes. So I had way more, and I maybe had over 165 bottles. I don't know, that's what I could account for. So then I quickly realized, like, okay, everyone's wanting these for their stocking stuffers. Okay, Christmas and New Year's had came, and like I had this lull of still at any given time I had like 5 in my purse because I knew I was going to be seen by somebody. Like, I need one, you know. So I realized, okay, what if I get in trouble for this? Like, I need to have some insurance. I need to have a business plan. I need to get an LLC. Like, I've clearly made too much money. So like, what do I do? So January 22nd, I flipped the switch. Everything launched, and I had insurance, I had my LLC, I had done all the Facebook stuff, like try to figure out like, okay, is Melnaturel even available? Like, what am I doing here? I just literally made this up. So I quickly flipped the switch and turned it on, and now I had a business. And so then I started to create the rest of my products that I was using for myself for other people, but I wanted to really test them first. So prior to this, while all this was going on, like I had been going out to my parents' house and bringing like lugs of all this ingredients and containers and stuff like this for months. And we had like Sundays at my parents' house with my siblings and their loved ones, and it was like mixology day. Like everybody's mixing, we're having fun, everybody's got their apron on. We're all trying products, and the goal was you need to test this product this week and give me feedback for next week, you know, and each of us have little bit different skin types. And so then I started finding girlfriends in different parts of the country that I knew I could trust, that weren't too close to me, but that I could get really valid feedback from, that I could send them these products and say, test these out for me, does this work for you? I know you have oily skin, you have dry skin, you have acne, you have this. Because I knew it was working for me, but I didn't know it was working for other people. So after I had some really good validation, I started to launch the other stuff. And I did it very quickly because I'm not a patient person. I'm very much like, let's go kind of a thing. Once I get the idea, it's gone. And so it was crazy. By February, I'd already sold in 11 states. I was like, what happened with this? So I was on Etsy, and then I created a website for myself, and now I'm selling all over the country and in Australia. It's pretty cool, like when I go out to my mailbox and I'm like, okay, I'm going to Tampa Bay today, I'm going to the Bronx, and I'm going to New Orleans, and I'm going here, or Australia. It's weird, it's really, really weird. So my mailman's got to wonder what's in those packages, but it's fun. And so I couldn't do all this alone, so I probably could, but I would not sleep at all, and I value my sleep. So I started looking for help. So I found interns through UWEC and CBTC. There's an internship program that both schools were awarded grants that pay interns to work for small businesses or work for businesses. It's called the Great Lakes Higher Education Foundation Grant, Career Ready. So I have 4 interns from UWEC, and I have 1 intern from here. I would hire more, but I don't think I could manage more right now, so I'm doing what I can. UWC got the grant earlier, so I worked with them first, and then CBTC now has it, and so I have 1 student here also. I was able to hire job postings, so I like wrote the job descriptions, posted them. I had like 9 job descriptions, and I whittled it down, so I was like, oh, what could they do? So I whittled it down, and I have 1 that focuses on like photography, videography, another one, and stuff coming through. We're still working on stuff right now. Another one that does all my accounting, all my QuickBooks. Another one that does all my social media and some graphic design. Another one that does like research, and another one that's done like website, things like that. So it's been awesome for them to learn and for me to kind of use my skill set on my day job, managing marketing employees, to do this. So they're having a blast, and their internship is paid for. they're paid a great hourly rate. I think like $12.50 an hour. It's amazing. And I don't pay them. They get paid, and I have them until they graduate, so that's been phenomenal. So they helped me with a full redesign of my logo, my brand. So in May, I won the Red Letter Grant through Red's Mercantile, and I got some amazing feedback from the judges on like, hey, well, here's your brand right now. It's very youthful, it's very feminine. Are you interested in changing this? And I said, absolutely. Like, I made this up on the couch, man. I didn't even think about this. I did not execute this at all the way I would normally execute anything marketing related. So we took a full step back and said, okay, how am I going to get into these boutiques and the stores and be a higher end product line that caters to my audience? And so we went a very clean, natural, fresh look. And so now I have the new product line, and you're kind of seeing pictures, and there's some products up here. And right now the main focus, I guess, since the last time I spoke in this summer is everything's out. We're up to date, everything's good to go. And right now we're working on getting into local stores so people don't have to pay shipping. And so when I say local, I mean anywhere in the country really, but it's local to my consumer. So where they don't have to order online if they don't want, and it's a win-win for the company. I'm supporting their local business, they're supporting mine. I have my line sheet good to go, so they'll receive, you know, they buy it at 50% cost and mark it up to what it is that you would buy on the website, so they're making money and I'm making money. Last week we entered our first store, the Volume 1 local store downtown, so that's exciting. And I've got a lot of other prospects in the fire right now, so, and Amazon Homemade just came out, so I'm going at it in my head, how can I get in there? So I was initially going to stop my Amazon fix, and I wanted to get in Amazon really, really bad, but they required trademarking, they required all of this FDA requirements, just hooplas that I didn't want to have to go through, that I thought would really be a major detriment to all the local stores that I wanted. Because if I'm in these local stores and you can find me on Amazon, why would you go to the local store, right? I'm a huge Amazon Prime girl, like every day. And so I thought, well, okay, I have to do one or the other. Let's support local because that's my business, that's where it's at. If I want to sell something else on Amazon just to get that fix from a marketing and business entrepreneurial spirit perspective, I'll find another product. Well, now Amazon Homemade is out. So my wheels are turning again, and I'm trying to determine, is that a viable fit for me or is it not? And so I'm not going to take any jumps yet, but it's turning in my head on how I can do that, because those same stipulations that I had before just to be on Amazon are no longer an issue. So